Deep in the Pennsylvania wilds, history isn't just preserved, it's lived. Explore with us as we journey from handcrafted Americana to one of the most ambitious engineering feats ever built, exploring how ingenuity, industry, and nature have all shaped this landscape. At the center of it all stands a structure once hailed as the eighth wonder of the world, a reminder of both human ambition and nature's power.
Ladies and gentlemen, in Bradford, Pennsylvania, that is the world's largest Zippo. World's largest Zippo lighter. Zippo and case. Manufactured here in Bradford, Pennsylvania. All Zippos are manufactured here. They're repaired here if needed. And we're going to check out a little museum they have here, the history and displays of the Zippo and case companies. So come along.
Over the decades, Zippo and case have been the gold standard for American craftsmanship and reliability of the most basic, everyday handheld tools, the lighter and the pocket knife. And in this tiny hamlet in the Pennsylvania wilds, old-time Americana is preserved in full flame and sharp edge, celebrated as both practical tools and cultural icons.
The Zippo Case Museum provides a timeline all the way back from 1784 regarding the purchase of the land here in the particular county in Pennsylvania in which we are located, history of that land, but then also the history of Zippo beginning in 1932 with the debut of Zippo and the Case brand, Case knives in 1889. In the midst of this area of Bradford, Pennsylvania, huge oil boom. There's actually an oil museum here in town as well. It's closed for the season right now, so we can't visit that currently. But a late 1800s oil boom in the area here, so a lot of business would need to come up for the oil industry.
An iconic brand like Zippo doesn't just showcase lighters, it brings back memories. Nostalgic displays of mid-century Americana cartoons and slogans, along with vintage ads, Zippo cars, and memorabilia. They transport visitors to a simpler era when craftsmanship and clever marketing were a source of real pride. It's more than a museum, it's a time capsule of American identity, where a pocket lighter became a symbol of resilience, reliability, and everyday culture.
The Zippo Case Museum also highlights a section of the use of Zippo in the war, particularly in World War II, and the use of Zippos, soldiers all around. Another section highlights the role of Zippos in the movies, in Hollywood, and amongst rock and roll concerts, with the unique nature of the wind-proof, breeze-proof flame of a Zippo. To be able to keep that flame going. And then the evolution of Zippos. Different ways that they've tried to experiment with Zippos for different finishes, different looks, different feels, different mechanics, only to make sure that they are not only the best functioning lighters, the most iconic lighters, and the most fashionable lighters. There's even a timeline here and a diagram of the internal aspects of the Zippo windproof lighter, the anatomy. various models of case knives, or as they would be called, case cutlery.
Case knives have long distinguished themselves by using natural material. Real bone, stag antler, and mother of pearl, sourced and shaped to create handles that are each unique. Now these aren't synthetic lookalikes, but genuine pieces of nature, giving every knife its own texture, pattern, and character. This connection to authentic materials builds an identity that is rooted in artistry as well as craftsmanship, blending the rugged spirit of the American frontier with the elegance of European tradition. Each case knife becomes not just a tool, but a reflection of history and heritage carried forward in your pocket.
This is the Case Company car, topped with a Case Kodiak knife, actually traveling the streets of Bradford, Pennsylvania to pick up employees for work. That's pretty cool. The Army-Navy E Award was presented to Case for their excellence, outstanding performance in engineering, and assistance in the war efforts. Knives, shears, razors, cutlery. Well, it was a fun little stop here at the Zippo Case Museum in Bradford. If you're a Zippo collector, a case collector, there are collecting clubs for Zippos and case. But this would be a mighty fine little place to come on by and visit.
After exploring Zippo and Case, our journey through the Pennsylvania wilds led us to another testament of American ingenuity. This time to a towering one that stood as the world's tallest and greatest of its kind, until nature reshaped its story.
Sometimes kids can be like tornadoes.
They like tornadoes.
Whether it's the engineering ingenuity of the construction of the Kinzua Bridge and the viaduct, or the weather that tore it down, the Visitor Center has interactive displays that demonstrate the entire lifespan of what many have called the eighth wonder of the world, an important piece of the economic growth and development of the industry in early 1800s America. But that's not all. Just a few steps away, you can venture out to explore the bridge and experience it in a couple of different ways, from a few different angles.
Spanning the valley in the Allegheny Mountains is the Kinzua Viaduct. I've heard it pronounced Kinzua, I've heard it pronounced Kinzua. An old rail viaduct constructed in 1882. At the time of its construction, this iron structure connected all the way across both of these. Constructed in only 94 days, but it was the tallest and the longest railroad viaduct in the world at that point in time. Considered by some to be the eighth wonder of the world. Over time, demands of railroad industry required it to be reformed from iron to steel. After the rail industry and maintenance costs made the viaduct no longer viable, the site was purchased by the state, and sightseeing tours would take place. Routine maintenance in 2002 revealed a need for reconstruction. A major renovation project was underway, and then just a few short months later, in 2003, an F1 tornado ripped through here and destroyed a significant portion of the viaduct. But the state transformed this into a walkway for visitors to come and appreciate the industry, appreciate the ingenuity, and appreciate the nature. The skywalk here at Kinzua Bridge, very prone to high winds. You can see the wind measurement devices right over here. You can probably hear the wind, and I can feel the wind. They got the glass panels right over there. You can look down below, but for the braver folks, the actual train track remnants are here as well, and you can look right on through. Just make sure you don't trip, and you don't want to drop your phone down here. Here's a nice viewpoint of the bridge for those who may have some fear of heights or just don't want to be on the bridge in the high winds. Still a nice view. Official photo taking platforms are also available with nice shots of the bridge and the wreckage below.
After exploring the splendor of the Kinzua Bridge, from outside, from inside, from above, and from the side, it was time to head down below. If you do this, make sure your knees are ready.
The bottom of the Kinzua viaduct here at Kinzua Creek. The height of the Statue of Liberty from that top to where we stand. Quite a steep climb down and a steep descent up with rocks along the way. So if you come on down, be prepared. When you hike down the Kinzua Creek Trail down to the beginning, you can come on down to the remnants. The steel remnants are right over here. The other side is not accessible to the public, so you can't get up there to the other half. But you can access all of these after the long descent down, prepping for the long descent, the steep descent down and the steep descent back up. I don't know how physically fit I am ready to go all the way back up there and then back down and then back up again. So we'll save that for others. The sheer power of nature. An F1 tornado, 100-mile-an-hour wind, still near the very smallest of the scale of tornado strengths, and all of this metal, the steel, just twisted and wrangled and mangled around. And the ascent back up to the visitor center begins at 2:51 p.m. As we navigate the steep ascent back up, the switchbacks here on the gravel portion include several benches to stop and take a rest, catch your breath. Some of them have fantastic views, others are just in the area of the switchback for you to get some water, take a load off, rest those muscles. Because this is steep, so whether it's going down or going up, you'll be taking it slow. The upper half of the Kinzua Creek Trail has these boulder steps. Some of them can be pretty steep, and they're not manicured, so again, just be mindful, be careful. This will definitely work the thighs. And again, a bridge, a bench right here. This section of the bridge, again, providing a fantastic view. And we're up at 303. South of Kinzua Bridge, we come across Bendigo State Park. Bendigo State Park, very small park, the river running alongside of it. Actually used to be a local community park, a town park for an old mill town, and the property was then gifted on over to the town, to the county, and over onto the state. So Bendigo State Park, a lot of community-centered activities, fields here, basketball courts, there's a community pool, as well as plenty picnic tables and pavilions. So this is actually like an ideal type state park for any type of group setting, group outing, church group, youth group, ball teams or whatnot, just to have picnics, family reunions and such. Really nice state park. Not a lot of hiking trails, boating, fishing here on the river, obviously, but just a small, quaint state park in northwestern Pennsylvania. It's a perfect spot to take a stop and have some dinner, and that's what we're doing. Just having some dinner down by the peaceful river.
Thanks for joining us along our journey up through some of the Pennsylvania wilds, exploring the ingenuity of American industry and American industrial complex, as well as some beautiful state parks up along the way. So if you like this content, be sure to subscribe, give the video a big thumbs up, because it really does help us out, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.